What's that? It's Pig Nuts coming to you live from the pig pen. It's Piggy himself. Welcome to week 13 or 14. I don't know which one. Pig Nuts coming to you live here. We have, of course, sorry for the delay. Sorry it's been a few weeks without any Pig Nuts. I know you all want your nuts, and I am here to give you some. Of course, we have been on our IVF journey. This was cycle 3, and it's, of course, stressful and expensive and miserable. But we did receive some wonderful news today. And, of course, the Thanksgiving edition. There's many things to be thankful for all of us. And starting off with who's back, we have Robin. Robin's back in cycle 3. I don't know how much you know about IVF, and I'm not here to teach you a science lesson. But we've done 3 cycles. The first cycle, we got 1 embryo, which is great, of course. But, you know, her numbers are very low, and you want to make sure that you have at least 1 more, God forbid something happens with that 1. We paid for another cycle and went through that. We got 0 goose egged on round 2. So this was round 3. Of course, like I said, very expensive, very hard on her physically, and pumping her with a ton of drugs, and it's stressful and horrible. So number 2, we got goose egg. Number 3, we've been waiting with bated breath. And today we got a call that we started with 8 eggs, which was amazing. The last cycle we had 2, and that went to 0. First cycle we had 6, that went to 3, then that went to 1. So this time we had 8, which was awesome. That 8 went to 4, so we were hoping for just 1, and lo and behold, we got 3, which is unbelievable. 3 is by the statistically very, very, very ridiculous chance of that ever happening. So we have 3, we have 4 altogether. They're being sent off for genetic testing, but great news so far in the pig home, and we're hoping for a little piglet of our own in 2025, and it's looking decently good. So that's great news. Who's back? Robin is back. Next up, we have Inside the NBA. Inside the NBA is back. Also amazing. Chuck, Ernie, Kenny, and Shaq are moving to ESPN and ABC next season, and TNT will still produce. In this weird trade settlement negotiation that happened, and I'll go over it a little more, TNT got 13 Big 12 football games, 15 men's basketball games next season, as well as 2 college football playoff games. And I have a few more details about it. So the agreement is part of a settlement after Warner Brothers Discovery, the parent company of TNT, sued the NBA in New York State Court in August after the league did not accept the company's matching offer for one of the packages in its new 11-year media rights deal, which will begin in 2025-2026. And as you know, the reason all of these players are getting paid trillions and trillions of dollars is all these TV deals. So the TV deals are a huge thing, and everyone's bidding against each other, and it's crazy billions and trillions of dollars we're talking about. So this was a big deal, and the settlement gives TNT Sports, Bleacher Report, and House of Highlights a global license for NBA contact with no rights fee for the next 11 years, which I assume is a huge savings. Inside the NBA, of course, started in 1989, and Johnson became the host in 1990. While Smith joined full-time in 1998, Barkley came on board in 2000, followed by Shaquille in 2011. So we're all excited to see more inside the NBA. Next up on Who's Back, we have flag planting / disrespecting your opponent. Yesterday, I went to the UF-FSU game, and I'm not going to tell you who I rooted for, but I was rooting for FSU to lose by less than 17, and unfortunately, I lost that bet. 4 games ended with teams trying to slam a flag into the logo of the other team's field, resulting in brawls, especially in Michigan, Ohio State. Michigan's playing number 2 Ohio State, and of course, like Ryan Day and his team does, they cannot beat Michigan. They are huge frauds. They lost 13-10 to Michigan. Huge brawl ensues after Michigan plants the flag, pepper spray, huge ruckus fight. Also happens NC State versus UNC, 35-30. NC State plants the flag on UNC, brawl. Arizona State put a pitchfork in the field, brawl. Florida State, Norvell, Florida planted the flag in the Seminole. Norvell took the flag and threw it away. There was no handshake between him and Napier. So disrespecting your opponent is back. Next up on Who's Back, we got crypto. Crypto is still booming, and this is evidenced by Chinese crypto founder Justin Sun buying a banana taped to a wall for $6.2 million and then eating it after the auction. This is an auction in New York, and it was done by The banana taped to the wall with duct tape was done by Italian artist Maurizio Catalan, which unbelievable that he's selling a banana taped to a wall. And here it is. It's a banana taped to the wall. I know I'm getting some glare because of time of day, but that's it. That's worth $6.2 million. And the way of the world right now, crypto, every single thing is going up. XRP, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Dogecoin, Chill Guy, anything you touch, it's going up. Except for my NFTs that I bought last year and lost all my money on that. So good for everyone in crypto. Good for Justin Sun. Good for crime. Good for money laundering. Everything is going well due to crypto. Justin Sun eating a banana is back. Next up, we have pugs. Pugs are back. Pugs are back as Vito the Pug. And I'll show you that. Look at this. I got lots of pug. Look at that. I don't think he's that cute. I think one of his eyes is a little red. I guess he has a nice smile. But he won Best in Show at the 2024 National Dog Show. First time the breed has won, beating out more than 1,900 dogs, representing more than 200 breeds. So pugs are officially back. Who's dead? This pains me to say, but one of my all-time heroes and greats, Drake. Drake has been on the Who's Not Back But Not Dead list. Drake is officially dead. He has been down bad since losing his battle with Kendrick and has been on one of the worst PR tours of all time. And during that time, Kendrick has dropped a new album that everyone likes, and he's headlining the Super Bowl. So Drake did what all good Jews would do and sued everyone. He filed suit against Universal Music Group and Spotify, accusing them of using bots, paying people off, deceptive business practices, and false advertising to boost Not Like Us. Basically saying that they committed RICO crimes. He filed 2 suits in 2 different state courts. I think that probably this is true, or at least some of it's true, because while he is being a loser, I don't think he would file these 2 lawsuits if he didn't have some proof of that. I do think it was somewhat botted right when Kendrick would release songs. It would go up to like 1 trillion views already. Before any of this happened, I don't remember anyone being huge Kendrick fans. I do remember everyone being huge Drake fans. So I do think there was some nefarious stuff that happened, but being in a rap battle and suing everyone is the lamest super loser move you can possibly do. So I do believe that Drake, unfortunately, is dead, even if he's right. Next up on Who's Dead, another person who's been a huge loser lately, Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris, since her curb stomping of the loss to King Trump, her and her team have also been on a very unimpressive PR run, blaming everyone and everything other than themselves day by day. We hear more and more embarrassing details dropping. Now we hear hot ones. The show with the chicken wings that had guests such as Stone Cold Steve Austin, Gabriel Fluffy Iglesias, Russell Brand, Tony Yayo, Ja Rule, and Joey Fatone say no thanks, we think you're lame as fuck, and we'd rather not have you on our show. Pretty embarrassing that Kamala tried to scramble late and not go on Joe Rogan, but she wanted to go on Hot Ones, and they said no. No chicken wings for you. Kamala definitely down. Next up, we have Jay Leno. Jay Leno, in one of the most ridiculous interviews by Inside Edition you'll ever see. You must go watch this. It's crazy. Milk shot out of my nose when I watched it, and I wasn't even drinking any. Look at this photo of Jay Leno, and then I'll tell you what happened, allegedly. Also, there's games on right now. I know I'm late. Sorry. Like I said, we had a big day for IVF Piggy World, so we're very happy here. We've been celebrating all morning. This is Jay Leno. Look at that. Pirate eye patch and his whole face bruised up. So Pirate Jay Leno comes out of nowhere and starts doing an interview. And they say, what the fuck happened to you, Jay Leno? You look like shit. And he says he was staying at a Hampton Inn, which I love Hampton Inns. Great breakfast. Very cozy, nice. But I'm not worth $500 million. He is staying at a Hampton Inn, very suspect. 30 miles outside of Pittsburgh, and decided he wanted to walk to a local diner. And instead of walking around the Hampton Inn, which is about a mile, he decided, let me try to traverse this 60-foot hill to get to the parking lot of the diner faster. And of course, he says that he tried to go down this hill to get to this restaurant, and he falls down, breaking his wrist, losing a fingernail, and bruising up his whole face and ribs. Like I said, clearly he owes money to like the Russian mob or something. This is also the same Jay Leno who is a huge collector of cars because he has trillions of dollars, like I said. And he like got locked in one of his expensive cars, and the car was set on fire and he was severely burned. Clearly he has a gambling addiction, and clearly he does not pay his debts, and they're trying to kill Jay Leno. Hilarious since he's not dead. But go watch the interview. Who's not back but not dead? We have Ryan Borgwart. It's a Wisconsin man who vanished in August during a kayaking trip, and authorities believed he had drowned, which would put him on the dead list. But he's on the who's back but not dead list because who's not back but not dead because 3-month investigation with cadaver dogs, divers, and federal law enforcement turns out he staged his death and has been living in Eastern Europe to get away from his family and start a new life. They examined his laptop and it revealed that the father of 3 had transferred funds to a foreign bank, taken photos of his passport, changed his email, been communicating with a woman in Uzbekistan, and taken out $375K life insurance policy to help his family. He says, "Thank you so much for faking your death for me, Dad, and leaving me with $375K. You're a great guy." He on the day of his disappearance, Borgward carefully stashed an e-bike near the lake before taking off in a child-sized inflatable boat while carrying a kayak. On the lake, he flipped his kayak, discarded his phone, and then paddled the small boat to shore. From there, he rode his e-bike some 70 miles to Madison, where he boarded a bus to Detroit and then another to Canadian border before he boarded a plane. But they found him. They're eventually going to charge him, I think. They're trying to get him back here. He says that, no, he's chilling. But, of course, you can't just be chilling. When you do that, you've wasted a lot of resources. And your family would probably, I don't know if they want you home, but still. Thanksgiving, of course, this is the Thanksgiving episode, and we already spoke on some things we're thankful for. And one thing we have to be thankful for, I know that this platform has always been used to raise up women. That's one of my big things that I do is champion women. And today I'm championing Sarah Josepha Hale, who was born October 24th, 1788, and was an American writer, activist, editor of the most widely circulated magazine at the time, Pratt Fryermuth touchdown. Goody's Ladies Book. And she was a baller who was one of the first female writers, wrote books advocating for the end of slavery, and also wrote Mary Had a Little Lamb. Banger of a poem, a kid's poem. Mary Had a Little Lamb. Responsible for making Thanksgiving a national holiday in the U.S. and which was previously celebrated mostly in only New England. She began advocating in 1846, and that lasted 17 years, when finally Abraham Lincoln said, enough, fine, I'll make it a national holiday. Just stop writing me letters. More on Sarah Josepha Hale. Like I said, it had mostly been celebrated in New England before that. It was largely unknown in the American South. Her advocacy for the national holiday began in 1846 and lasted 17 years. She had written letters to President Zachary Taylor, Millard Fillmore, Franklin Pierce, who I never remember being a president, James Buchanan, and Abraham Lincoln. And finally, like I said, she convinced Lincoln, who was, of course, soft, establishing that Thanksgiving was a national holiday. In 1963, the new national holiday was considered a unifying day after the stress of the Civil War, which had just ended. And before Thanksgiving's addition, the only national holidays celebrated in the United States were Washington's birthday and Independence Day. Hale's efforts earned her the nickname Mother of Thanksgiving, and she also was key in bringing together and popularizing the Thanksgiving holiday with the menu featuring turkey stuffing. But she also had chicken pie, pickles, cakes, preserves, ginger beer, and currant wine. Some of that stuff has fallen out of favor over time, but good on Sarah Josepha Hale for making Thanksgiving have a day to the Hale family. Lastly, show of the week, I'm watching Bad Monkey on Apple with Vince Vaughn. Interesting. I think it's based off a book by that Florida writer. I forgot his name, but you can look it up. Apple. Good show so far. It's a little bit of comedy, a little bit of crime, a little bit of mystery. They find a human arm, and they don't know if this guy's dead or not dead, and there's crimes happening, and there's some other good people in the show. Good show. I don't want to give away too much. Good show. Bets of the week. Looks like I'm out of the playoffs. Big bummer. Should not have made that trade with Isaac, but that's okay. I'm not going to go over the rest of the matchups because I don't care because I'm out of the playoffs. RIP Trevor Lawrence. Bets of the week. I really don't have much because the 1 p.m. games already happened and the Christmas and the Thanksgiving games already happened. Bucks Panthers over 46, hammering that for $1 trillion. Give me a Bucky Irving anytime TD as well. It's about all I got. Have a day. See you next week. I'll be back.